Hello, we are joined here by James Cooke, author of fantastic book, Operations Management. James empowers people to make their business a lasting success. He's a highly experienced and skilled operations manager in the public sector. He's got a distinguished police career with Scotland Yard, specializing in risk management, developing high-performance teams, and making operations happen. Welcome, James. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do now.
Yes, of course. Okay, so I was brought up in very rural shire of Herefordshire, but went off at the age of 16 to London, where I learnt my trade in the police. And I was with Scotland Yard for 33 years. So I was plunged from beautiful countryside and woodlands into the heart of Soho in London as an 18-year-old. Dealing with vice, crime, and violence. So it's quite a change. But I was involved in a whole range of different operational projects across that space of time, and did a lot of work around uniform and covert anti-drugs work at Notting Hill, and subsequently joined the Commissioner's Specialist Crime Directorate back in 2001, and spent a further 9 years of my final 9 years focused on risk management and operations for specialist and organised crime across London. So I was managing some of the most dangerous offenders across London, and I had to develop various teams, different teams during that period, getting the very best out of their performance and their potential to do the job in hand. So when I left 10 years ago, I then retrained after a period of reflection as a teacher and as a professional coach, and also a personal protection officer, VIP protection officer.
Wow.
But that developed further into my first love, which is coaching and training. And after being involved in a lot of training across the coaching academy, then moved towards supporting veterans and emergency service workers who are recovering from trauma-related conditions. And it was about that point where I bought my woodland in Monmouthshire, very close to where I was brought up, near the River Wye and the Lower Wye Valley. So
you went back to the woodlands.
I did.
Where your heart is, yes.
I did. I returned from the smoky city back to the trees. And then over the last 6 years, set up a rehabilitation centre in my woodland for veterans and emergency service personnel. So I got a fantastic team of staff. I've got 18 staff members who are doing a variety of different things: therapy, woodland skills, arts therapy. And we've got participants from across the Southeast Wales area, Gwent, coming into the woodland. And that we're restarting operations next week because we've just been given essential service status by the local health board. So with that in mind, there's so much to do and so much learning out of those years that I would hope that I can help your people, Edith, in developing their own business careers.
Great. So when it comes to business, how relevant is to trust your own intuition and follow your heart like you did?
It's very important, and intuition is key. I mean, you can learn an awful lot at the business schools and out of books, but that will only take you so far. And what you find in your everyday world is you're dealing with real people who are coming with different agendas and motivations, sometimes of which are hidden. And they can be telling you one thing, but actually they mean another. You know, intuition and following your heart in your business activity is crucial. And I think part of this is about developing your sixth senses in intuition. So over a period of years, through your own business experiences, you start to learn through your mistakes about what works and what doesn't work, and also reading people, reading them, their body language and what they're saying and what they're actually doing behind their verbal message. So you're actually intuitively responding to what you see and hear in front of you. And that takes time to develop. It's not immediate, and it's developed over many years of experience. And I learned the hard way that what I was being told in one scenario wasn't necessarily completely all that was involved. And I needed to be aware of all the dynamics in the situation to allow me to make reasoned and common sense decisions. And that will apply to a business career as much as a public sector career.
That's right.
So there's a constant evolving skill area there of developing your sixth sense and your intuition. And I think it's much easier for women to do that. I think they've got many more traits.
Yes, we do have extra power
in terms of empathy and listening skills to allow you that development of intuition. So I think that's key, and it's also linked, intuition, to other areas of your performance and skill areas. It's got to be one of your first considerations in any planning of a business, is how you're going to look after your mental health. And mental health goes hand in hand with your physical fitness. The two are inseparable. They both go hand in hand. If one is out of balance, the other will be affected. And it means actually building up your resilience and your strength in a number of different ways. But it's got to go into an action plan, which is really as important as your business plan. And it means doing a whole assortment of actions, such as mindfulness, clearing your mind, having a break from your business activity to go walking or do something that gives you pleasure, being with your family and friends, and taking inspiration from other people's experience, through books and films, and having that fresh perspective gives your mind a rest from the pressures that you're actually under. But it's got to be constantly monitored. And you've got to be looking out for the first signs of stress, which can often lead up to burnout. If you're not careful, you can be totally overwhelmed by the number of jobs and tasks that you've got to do as an entrepreneur, because everything is DIY. It is, in my experience. You're doing everything. You're doing marketing, finance, you're doing organizational work, product development. It's all in there, and you're the one doing it all. So the mental pressures on you are massive. And if you overwhelm yourself and don't take care of your mental health, then your business performance will suffer very, very quickly. So the action planning that you do around your own mental health and physical well-being is as crucial as your business plan.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It does. It totally does. And especially for women, it's difficult to find value in what we do.
I think there are a number of areas to consider there, and it's often it's another baseline thing that you've got to do, is that if you don't understand your own value set, and everybody's value set is different. Some people give greater importance and credence to money, just the money, the bottom
That's
line.
right. Yeah.
Some people are interested in possessions. Some people are interested in service to others.
Exactly.
Or friends and family relationships. So it's actually understanding what your value set is, and everybody's different. And what I say to my coaching clients is that there are 3 key questions that you have to pose right at the beginning. And this is before you even start your business plan, because your business plan will be actually born out of your value set. There are 3 questions. It's basically what you want to have in your life in terms of material possessions, what bottom line financial position do you need to be in, a house, and the quality of life you want. It's also about what you want to do in your life. What are your long-term life and business ambitions? And what you want to be. What do you want to be? An exceptional manager, an exceptional mother, an exceptional creator, designer, or a combination of those things. So without asking those questions, they will give you an indication of where your values actually lie in terms of, and there's nothing wrong, for a businesswoman wanting a fast sports car, for instance. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But you need to understand that that is your driving motivation. And everybody's motivation is different. But without understanding your value set, any business plan that you put into place is not connected with you as a person. And eventually the 2 of you part company. So you become increasingly disgruntled and disconnected from what you're trying to do, because it's not you. It doesn't represent your value set.
No.
So appreciating, being aware, and assessing your values, your personal values, is absolutely crucial right at the start before doing any business plan. And that goes in hand then with the health and fitness plan before you even start your business planning.
Yeah.
It's all essential foundation self-awareness tools which you'll need.
How can we maximize it to the fullest?
The first thing I would say as for women entrepreneurs is to amplify your strengths and mitigate your weaknesses.
Wow.
So always be mindful of where, areas of your operation where you're weaker and you might need support from other professionals, and those areas where you excel and you can actually amplify your performance. And I think as a woman entrepreneur, I think in many ways you're better equipped to do that, because you have developed traits in terms of empathy, creativity, and particularly listening skills. The other point I would make is a very practical point, is identify the best time of day for you as a manager to perform. For me, it's very early in the morning, between 5 and 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm at my very best. I'm running on all cylinders.
Wow.
Some people are night owls, and so they work best at midnight. So it's actually identifying the time of your day where you're at your most creative and at your strongest to do the hardest jobs in front of you. So there's no room for procrastination. It's also part of this is understanding your clients, and you can only do that by listening, active listening to your clients, what they actually want, not what you think they want. You've got to be very, very responsive, and using that brilliant management psychologist Stephen Covey's work around the 7 principles of making a manager most effective, is one of the finest principles, I think, is the listening skills of a business manager. If your clients don't think you're listening, they will be turned off. They will not respond to you. If you just do the hard sell all the time, they will turn away from you. They won't want to know. They'll just walk away. So you've got to be, you have to have an intimate knowledge of all your clients, what makes them tick, what drives them, what are their needs relevant to the current situation, and respond your business planning in terms of services or product relevant to that need. I think another point is constantly scanning, doing what I would call, what the business schools would call environmental scanning. So you've got to be constantly looking at the market, the market that you're operating in, what changes are about to happen. So doing your PESTLE analysis, PESTLE analysis, what political changes are coming about, what technical changes, legal changes, and actually adapting your business approach to any changes in the market. And that obviously leads on to another basic foundation tool for managers, which is the SWOT analysis. So all that environmental scanning will move towards your SWOT analysis, and then from there, the SWOT analysis into your value chain. And hopefully a lot of your clients, Edith, use the value chain in there, even in a micro business environment, of looking at all the inbound operations and outbound logistics around their operation. So those three methods actually link with each other, and they're all interdependent on each other.
Great.
And lastly, I think it's also developing your pitch, your power pitch. And there are elements in the power pitch that you've got to consider. Is your product or service relevant? Reciprocity. You're offering something in return for somebody's help to you. You actually deliver on what you say you're going to deliver. Testimonials, and some statistics behind your business operation from your market research. So all of that gives you a much stronger pitch performance when you're talking to potential clients. But the underlying theme, I would say, is your sincerity and your authenticity as an individual. You've got to come across as a genuine operator, not a false, hard sell manager. Otherwise, the clients will just walk away from you.
Yeah. Which leads me to my last question. How important is it to invest in yourself before you start business?
When I left the police in the first year after leaving, I spent over £5,000, which was a not insubstantial amount of money, in my own training. I retrained as a teacher, coach, and close protection operative, and it was expensive. And I kept saying, can I afford to do this? And can you afford not to do that type of investment if you've chosen high quality training?
Yeah.
Because cost is always in conjunction with growth. Your growth as an individual and your growth as a business manager will come out of your skill set, and also allowing you to network with other entrepreneurs whilst you're training, and increasing your network of people that you bring around you. So I think that's fundamental in terms of investing in yourself. Remember all the other things about health, fitness, your value set, doing that work before you start your business plan. Because I was trying to do it all on the back of a fag packet when I first left the police, and suddenly realized, hang on a minute, I've spent all these years doing all these comprehensive analysis pieces of work, and I'm not doing the same for myself.
No.
So I then did 6 months of personal awareness assessment, Myers-Briggs, the DISC personality profile. I got a professional coach to help me develop my objectives. So that was 6 months of work before I even started to hone in on what I really wanted to do in the market. in conjunction with my own personal values. So there's a lot of time and effort in terms of investing in yourself before you even start any business operation.
Yeah.
And also the other thing I would say is bringing the right people around you. You've got to have the right friends, you've got to have the right business associates, the right professional people around you as a team. So even though you're working on your own as an entrepreneur, you've got a support team, and you've got to bring the right people. There's no room for negativity or distraction, which is destructive or negative. All the people you bring around you have got to be in alignment with your values and what you're trying to do and are constructive. And that sometimes needs critical friends as well, that can actually challenge what you're doing and give you a fresh perspective on what you're doing and how you're doing it. So it's about bringing the right people around you, which is part of your self-investment.
I hear you have a gift for our audience, which are some links to your website and for more information.
Yes, and I'm very happy to sign off books with your audience, and also do, if need be, some online coaching and mentoring on specific topics. Just lastly, I would say to a young mother entrepreneur is keep it simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
Concentrate on the things you do really well and deliver very high quality, perhaps in a narrow niche area, rather than trying to do everything for everybody. That will just not work. Just keep it simple, but what you do to the very highest quality, and make sure you're taking your clients with you. So that would be my final message.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time and for your brilliant knowledge and golden nuggets of wisdom. Thank you very much, James.
Thanks, Edith.
Bye-bye.
Good luck to everybody.
Oh, thank you. Bye.